It's Thursday. It's 6 o'clock in the evening. Yes, it is that time. It is the ABC of CBD. An award nominated, it's up for an award in America, unbelievably so and delightfully so. And it's groundbreaking. And so many people come up to me, which amazes me. People I don't even realize are watching and listening to the show all over the world. And they say, God, I love that. And Ollie Mammon and da-da-da-da-da. And they find it very, very interesting. It really has changed. The most important thing, it's changed people's lives. Talking of changing people's lives, he is the hunk of hemp. He is the Maharaja of marijuana. He is the Count of cannabinoids. He is, what's his name? Oh, yes, Ollie Mammon.
What's up? Happy Thursday, everybody.
Happy Thursday.
Happy
Ollie.
Thursday. What song did we do last week? Happy Thursday to you.
Yeah. It's the thing,
I still can't believe it. And then it took us a moment to realize what song is that.
We don't know.
Song.
I think it was Rachmaninoff. How are you? First of all, most importantly,
very
well?
good. Very, very good. The weeks seem to be going very quickly at the moment.
They're terrifying. When you get to my age, the weeks go by in a blink. 1 minute it's Monday, the next minute it's Monday again. You
it's
think,
like
what
the
the hell
theory
have
of
I achieved?
relativity, isn't it?
Scary as hell because you got to make every day count because tomorrow is not a promise.
And it's cold. It's got cold.
It is blooming. It is cold.
I am back. Temperature drop.
The traditional hoodie. So let's pay the rent first of all.
Yeah, and then we'll move on with the show.
We're going to bring on a rather fabulous guest, if I may say so.
I'm sure you've heard before that good quality CBD needs to be really, really expensive. This is the new view of CBD. A product created by users for users. A product at an affordable price, available everywhere, at any time, at the simple click of a button. Just CBD and MCT oil. No additives, no preservatives, and no flavor enhancers. It's a simple subscription-based service. The cleanest possible CBD delivered to your door for the lowest possible price. Your product, your rights for the lowest possible price.
Still one of my favorite ads. Love that ad. I know I say that every week, but I never get tired of.
Yeah, I know. I'm never like, oh God, here we go again.
No, I never get tired of it. It's a really beautiful.
I would say it's on par with the Waitrose advert or the John Lewis advert of the dog and the fox bouncing on the trampoline together. You know, Christmas advert.
I don't know.
I think
is that
2016? Or maybe like the legendary Coca-Cola adverts of, with
the lights,
trucks coming through
with the lights coming through.
Holidays are coming. Holidays. It's got the same sort of like memory.
The other one I always like, but they never show it over here. But it's a huge thing in the States when I used to live there. Is the Budweiser, and they've got the Budweiser sort of Shire. They probably got a different name than say Shire horses. These huge horses, and they're pulling the Budweiser truck. And it's just phenomenal. It's a phenomenal ad.
Do you remember the what's that? Do you remember
that?
I
hated that. I had to do that on the radio. We had to keep doing it, and I thought I really don't understand what the hell I'm doing here. Anyway, enough of walking down memory lane. Let's crack on with the ABC of CBD for this Thursday evening.
Episode 94.
We're getting so close, man.
I know.
Episode 100 has to be something special. We've got to host it somewhere special, you and I.
So I had a great time last week
I've been
with
thinking.
you, by the way.
I've been thinking. You know what we should do? We should have like a little event for episode 100, and maybe invite
everyone,
not the people in Kentucky, but invite some of the people.
It's actually not a bad idea.
That's
maybe send out a massive blast, just get everyone down for a social. It'll be quite lovely.
Get them down, and do the show live from I have no idea where.
From somewhere. Actually, it's a really good idea.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I do occasionally have them. Right, our fabulous guest is
Sarah Stark. So episode 94, we've got
look what
Sarah
happened
Stark.
to her father, though. Look what happened to Ned.
Who's Ned?
Ned Stark.
Who's Ned Stark?
Got his head chopped off, didn't he?
But who is he?
Game of Thrones.
Oh, yes. Sorry.
I mean, the Starks.
Sorry, you just kind of lost me for a second. I was like,
Sarah's
in real life.
sister,
yeah.
Sarah's sister, Arya.
Basically, Jon Snow's stepsister.
Her sister was fantastic.
Are you watching the new series?
No.
You're not watching it?
I'm Game of Thrones out.
House of Dragons is not bad, man. It's not bad.
Okay. All right.
Rhaenyra. She's
I tell you what you would enjoy. I'm so sorry. Is Freud, because you like all things like that. It's a German show with English sub. No. It's really good.
No, I'll look into it. Look, to be honest, I
Troy.
like German TV. Do you ever see
It's
8
on-
Days?
it's on-
Listen, it's not a TV deconstruction show. Get back to the point, Ross.
Yeah, let's
You
get
can't
to-
do
let's
this
get-
to me. I'm
let's
going to get
back-
distracted.
Let's get back to areas.
So, episode
sister.
94, we've got a great guest today. Her name's Sarah Stark, okay? Not Ned Stark's daughter, not
Well,
Jon
you say
Snow's
that, we don't
stepsister,
know.
not Sansa Stark or Arya Stark's
know.
sister.
You're saying that. Could be.
But she is actually she's theoretically a queen of the north. She is what I like to call the bath bomb queen, and she's from
And you've already
Nottingham,
said it's
which
you
is
said it's
basically
cold, so
the
winter
north.
is. You've already said it's cold, so winter is coming.
Yeah, winter is coming.
See how I link that together?
Enough of Game of Thrones now, Russ. We got to stop this. We got to stop this because this is going to
it's your
distract me.
show.
All episodes.
Okay.
It's not fair. You're not. This isn't fair. You're laying traps for me. So. A lot of you will know Sarah. She's got a company called Canna Magic. They make some incredible bath bomb products. Actually, a lot of the bath bombs in this marketplace are actually made by Sarah Stark. I mean, she's really call it infiltrated this space with her designs and her directions and the energies which she creates with these bath bombs. And more often than not, if you pick up a bath bomb from someone's stall, if you're seeing a white label product, more often than not, it's one of Sarah's products. I mean, they are everywhere. Now, the thing is with Sarah, she's a little bit like a well-kept secret. She's a little bit like us at Taylor Mammon. Everyone buys her products, everyone uses her products, but very few people actually know her. And what happens is when people actually meet Sarah, they think she's just another person selling her product, but in reality, she is the heart and soul behind her company. Now, I met Sarah 2 or 3 years ago, 3-4 years ago with her sister. Actually, it can't be 2 or 3 because 2 years ago was COVID. So like 4 or 5 years ago with her sister, and they've been just a standard. What's it called? They've had almost tenure in the marketplace. They've been offering their product across the market, and just they seem to be growing and growing and growing. They've got a fabulous facility up north. I would say that probably like 90% of the bath bombs in the market are probably made by them. They're very innovative. They've got some really cool designs. They've got some fantastic, what's called directional energies around their products through essential oils and through other active ingredients. And they really have, I want to say, dominated that side of the, while so many people are fighting for, share of the tincture market or the vape market or this or that, Sarah and her crew basically took over the CBD bath bomb area in the market. It's like a little bit crazy, and I think it was a space which not many people were looking at. I do make bath bombs. I don't think we make half as many as Sarah does, and it's like she does a lot with other cosmetics as well, but she's really known. I mean, like most people in the industry know her for her bath bombs. So I just wanted to bring her out here.
And it's a serious question, and before we bring on our guest, and it is a serious question. I've never used your bath bombs. I hear, in all seriousness, hear fantastic things about them. I know that you've sent them to some people that I know, and they went, wow. They wrote back to me and said, but what are, you put them in the bath, obviously, like salts or something, you drop them in, and then what? What's the effect?
So the effect is like it's anti-inflammatory. It targets... it has the ability to target a larger surface area, you could say. I think that's the best way of saying it. So when you take a tincture, it goes into your mouth, passes through digestion, goes into your stomach, and then it gets absorbed into your bloodstream. And then your bloodstream carries it to wherever it needs to go. And on the way to where it needs to go, anywhere else that needs cannabinoids will grab from it until the package is a lot smaller, but it gets to the final point where it needs it. When you use a balm, okay, you've got pain in your wrist, you can topically apply that pain to your wrist. Now, let's say after post-sport recovery, when everything hurts, you're not going to completely cover yourself from head to toe, and you're not going to lather yourself in a pain relief oil. You're not going to do it. It's like with deep heat, deep freeze, you don't do that. They're very much like local applications. So it's locally applied to where the issue is. With a bath bomb, it really gives you the ability to kind of fully immerse all of your receptors, especially your external receptors, your skin receptors, in cannabinoids. So if you have, muscle aches, bone aches, you have skin irritations, etc., it really does enable a wider spread of cannabinoid delivery. So it's also, you know, you have most bath bombs are made out of Epsom salts and citric acids, etc. They have their proprietary benefits. Epsom salts are high in magnesium. They're fantastic for post-sport recovery, anti-inflammatory, etc. Then plus with the direction of essential oils, you can create an aromatherapy as well. So you have the aromatherapy, you have the mineral therapy through like the salts, etc. Then you have like the cannabinoid therapy through the cannabinoids which are contained in it. It provides almost a trifecta effect for recovery or revitalization.
As I'm working my way through your product range and using them, I'll be honest, using them more and more at the moment because there's a lot of stress going on. That'll be next on my list. Shall we bring your guest
definitely.
on?
So to be honest, she should have been on for that explanation. I think she will add something.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Sarah Stark.
Hi.
Hi, Sarah. Bath bomb queen. Bow to the queen.
Bow to the bath bomb queen.
Bow to the queen.
I'm so excited to be here, guys. Thank you so much for having me on.
I'm so excited to have you on. You know, I've been meaning to do this for ages. Every time I see you, I have a great conversation with you. You're one of the goodies. Do you know what I mean? You're one of the ones I always seem to find my way over to your stall just to get a 5-minute break from the reality of our industry. So I'm really happy to get you on. And also, Sarah, you are you're such a key part of this industry. I mean, I know I've talked about it a lot over the last few weeks, but I've been talking about Product Earth a lot. And I think that Product Earth, I realized, because it's my first expo I've been to, I think in a year or so. I saw you at the last one, which was the White Label show, which was, I think, like a year or so ago. But walking around Product Earth, I realized how many people sell your bath bombs. I mean, literally, you're absolutely everywhere. And what happens is people ask, they're Canna Magic, right? And everyone's like, yeah, they're Canna Magic. You know, everyone's like very open about it. But I mean, you literally, it was the most, you could call it, repeated product I saw in any one stall was your bath bomb. So you really do have a hold on that side of the marketplace. You've done something incredible in the last few years. And I mainly wanted just to give you the respect which you've earned by kind of getting you on and sharing your story and generally just, you know, talking about what you've done.
Yeah, so definitely like to be involved with everybody, and we're very grateful to be, you know, given the opportunity to work with a lot of people and offer them a different type of, you know, bath bomb as such. We can personalize it to their own brand. And I feel like we've networked really hard and, you know, built loads of friends as such in this space as well. So it's not just about selling a product, it's a community. And I'm just really happy to be in this space.
But you really are like one of the chosen providers, especially like I know with with the cosmetics and stuff like that, we're all kind of fighting against, you call it, the bigger cosmetic formulators who have kind of moved into our space, and we're kind of trying to move into their space. But when it comes to bath bombs, I mean, you really are like the industry's chosen provider. Like everyone, it's like the name Canna Magic is synonymous with bath bombs. It's like it is your number one calling card, right? Yeah. How did you get into it? So what you and your sister, what went through your brain to think, you know what, we're going to become bath bomb royalty in the UK cannabis industry. That's what we're going to do. We're not going to, we're not going to focus on tinctures or vapes or anything like that. We are going to become the queens of bath bombs. As in like how does that even come into someone's mind? You know, like how does that even start?
So to be honest, our first product wasn't actually a bath bomb. It was a pain relief balm. So a salve. Very nice. And we call this Magic Rub. So in 2017, my mom got sciatica. So I decided to research essential oils and CBD oil and how to make a salve for my mom. Didn't intend to have a business, just wanted to create a natural product to help my mom, give her some relief and that type of thing. And that's initially all it was. So we made the balm and she loved it. So we just decided to help more people, made a social media account, gave out around 100 samples, and everyone came back to me.
And it was all said, balms to start with. Everything you were doing was balm.
Yeah. And then
had you ever made balms before, or it was just the first time you made a balm because you wanted to make something for your mom? You didn't, and there was nothing really else out there, and you kind of thought I could put A and B together and make something amazing.
Literally just to help my mom. I'd never made nothing before. Just did it in the kitchen. That was it. And everyone came back.
Hang on. So you'd never made anything like that before?
No, I was a clerical assistant in a primary school, and then I had loads of children. Had to quit my job, so I was at home being a mom. And literally just started to watch YouTube and research, reading and things like that on how to create a product. I created it and it worked. So I decided to help others. And then
just a quick question. Why cannabis? So I understand the whole idea of making a balm, and like in our world, you've got this world of aromatherapy and the world of nootropics, the world of nutraceuticals, you've got this world of functional herbology, then you've got this world of cannabis, which kind of overlaps into all of them. Like, what made you focus on cannabis and not just essential oils, or not like a magnesium balm or a chamomile balm or something else, which also has, proprietary anti-inflammatory benefits? Like, what brought your attention to cannabis?
The CBD. So
and CBD.
To be honest, we all know the effects of cannabis on the body. It helps you relax. It reduces inflammation. It provides a pain relief. So I mean, it's not something that we can shout about because of the rules and regulations, but we all know what it does. So that was it, really. So I just decided to focus on that because my mom, she's on a lot of medication, and the herbal path for me is better for her. I think a lot of the older generation are not really, it's hard to turn them towards cannabis when they've been going to see their doctor for so long, and the doctor tells them take these pain tablets and things like that. So for me, it was kind of like, here, mom, here's something different. Please try this. And it just worked. So that was it, really.
I think Russ can empathize with you 100%.
But did you tell her it was really a Werther's? It was really like a Werther's.
I didn't lie. No, I told her the truth.
Mum, here's a new thing from Werther's. You'll like it. And she goes, this is tasty. That's what you did.
That's quite interesting because some of my clients have told me that they haven't told their parents that it contains cannabis, CBD, because if they do, they won't touch it. And there's this stigma around it that really needs to be changed.
Russ, it took you 40 episodes or something before you let me make something for you, and you were in a really bad way, and it's only because you were not on the drugs. You didn't want to take the drugs they were giving you. But also, when it comes to sciatica, I mean, like, you can empathize, right?
Oh, completely. I have to say that I knew nothing about this, Sarah. I say this every week. So I'm really just everyman acting as a bridge between the viewers and listeners and Ollie, because otherwise it's all a bit much. And that's sort of like, I like to do checks and balances on these things, and I was very skeptical about it. And then Ollie started to send me some stuff, and I thought, what, damn, it is actually working. And I'm very cynical about it. And I thought, no, this is really helping with the vaping and the drops, and especially the balm when I had various issues. And the balm stick, it's terrific. So it'll be the bath bombs for me next.
They're also entry-level products. It's very easy to turn around to someone and be like, rub this on your skin. Because when you rub something on your skin, that whole idea is, what can happen? So it's great as an entry-level product. I think I had very similar success to you at the start of my journey. I made tinctures, I made drops, I made vapes, and I made balms. And the balms were the best-selling products. Why? Because they were the least invasive. It's the type of product that someone can put on, and they're not going to worry, what have I just eaten? What have I just inhaled? What's in my system? And there's a big separation with people of what's in here, what goes in here, and what's in here, and what's on top of here. But the fact of the matter is, if you rub poison on your arm or you swallow it, you're going to die. Okay, but that whole idea, people don't seem to affiliate topical and edible as kind of both affecting your body in the same way. So I also found at very early stage that topical application was an easier way to go. And some of the first products I started with Russ, actually I started Russ on a vape, but some of the first products I was talking with him about was started Russ on a vape, but actually some of the first products we talked about were topicals. And like, my mum doesn't really like the edibles. My mum won't really take the drops. She doesn't really like the capsules, but she'll use the balm all day long. Same with like my girlfriend's parents, all day long they live on that balm. They don't like the drops. Thank you, Russ. I love it.
I've used that. It's great.
Exactly. They're good products, but this, like Sarah, like you're probably one of the most similar to me out there. Like, you design products to actually help people, and if they don't help people, you don't sell them. It's like everything you've done in this industry is because your product works. If your product didn't work, you wouldn't have the following, you wouldn't have the the respect that you have out there, and you wouldn't be the chosen supplier of bath and to so many companies out there. Now, I've got a question for you. Why bath bombs? So you're doing so well on this salve, you're taking over the world, you're handing out to 100 people, you're saving people one back at a time, one wrist at a time, one ankle at a time. Why did you decide to go over to bath bombs?
Yeah, so we decided to incorporate the essential oils and the CBD into bath bombs. I've got a gift set here. So they look like this. It's like a large chocolate box. We've made our own shape. So they're like this. I don't know if you can see. It says Canna Magic on it as well. That's the type of thing that we offer.
It's smart because it passes through a letterbox, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That's why it's smart.
Could you hold it a bit closer? Because I'd love to see it. Oh, isn't that great? Isn't that great?
Yeah. Awesome branding. The smells of her
really
bath
nice.
bombs are incredible.
Really
as in, like
nice.
the blends are sensational.
So with I mean, just having a bath. Let's just simplify everything. Just having a simple bath relaxes your whole body anyway. It takes you to a place you can just lie there. We're made of 70% of water, I'm sure. So we're in a bath. We just close our eyes and we can just relax, even if it's for 5 minutes. When you get out, you're going to feel different to how you got in there. And this is my thing with mental health and stuff like that. Just take a simple bath or a shower. I mean, we've got shower steamers, but we don't put CBD in them because there's no point. But it's just a simple procedure to make you feel different and better, relax.
5-minute break.
5-minute break. So we incorporated essential oils that help with your mood. So, this helps with anxiety, depression. Your whole body can just relax. So if you've got pain in your shoulder, it can take its toll on the rest of your back because you're crumpled over. So that was my thing, really. Just take a bath, just relax for 5 minutes.
And your blend of essential oils.
When you get out, apply your magic rub balm and go to sleep. I mean, you're gonna feel brand new in the morning.
So your blends of essential oils, you create them yourself, right?
Yeah, we formulate everything ourselves. Yeah. So
and how do you get inspiration behind your blends of essential oils? So how do you decide what essential oil blend to use for what? And how do you is it through trial and testing? Is it through personal experience? Is it through reading? As in just because I tell you what it is, a lot of people. I know these questions to you sound a bit simple. Same way when people ask me them, it sounds simple. But in reality, people don't understand the thought and the education and the studying. And it's not just go to the shelf, pick 3, see if they smell well together and put it in a product. There's a lot more thought that goes into all of this stuff, And it's even little things like your color representations. When you pick up something that has a specific color, that color triggers something inside of your brain. Now, if you have a smell which attributes to that color and a sensory neurological experience which can kind of come off of the two, it's like that whole user experience is thought about. Now it's not 100%. It's not like there's a lot of trial and error. There are loads of you could call it concoctions and recipes which you've created which have never seen the light of day because they're not good enough, and there are a few which are good enough which end up making it out there. The issue is most people who use your products, most people who use any cannabis product out there, or most people who use any product don't really understand what actually goes into the thought process. They just don't get it because it's it seemed to be easy, but in reality it's not. So I'm just trying to get a little bit behind your process for people to actually understand what you go through for them.
Yeah. So in the beginning, initially it was like a lot of research, a lot of reading, a lot of trial and error. When I went to college quite some time ago, I studied aromatherapy anyway, but that was because I was going down the beauty field. But that was a long time ago. So getting back into it, I had to refresh, my memory. And I mean, we know certain things help with certain things. Take lavender, for instance, it helps you sleep. And you were speaking about colors as well. So we've got the peace one again, blue is a peaceful color. We have the love balm. We've done it red. I mean, it's not rocket science, but it's just something that you have to think about going forward to make everything come together.
What's the love one? I get what.
So it's got geranium, lang-lang, and patchouli and orange.
And what happens? What happens with that?
Well, it's a bit aphrodisiac-y.
Good Lord. Good.
You're
heavens.
killing Russ here, by the way.
Wow.
So you're not stop flirting with my co-host, goddammit.
This is a
Sensually
step
holding
up.
your bars off.
This is a
That's
step up from
aphrodisiac,
Radox.
Russ.
This is a step up from Radox, isn't it?
It definitely is, and it'll bring loads of love into your life.
Will it? Oh,
Yes.
God, that's just what I need. All right. Okay.
Russ is like, I'll take 1,000.
I haven't got enough aggravation on my hands. Okay.
So I got a question for you. Let's go back a little bit. You studied aromatherapy at college. You said you studied the aromatherapy. Can you hear me?
Many moons ago, yeah. Sorry, you broke up a bit.
Sorry. So you studied aromatherapy at college, and you just kind of just like brushed that to the side in your comment. Well, I studied aromatherapy. It was for a different reason. That's the start of your journey. As in, whether you want to admit it or not, that's the start of your journey. And whether it was, for one reason or another, having that foundation means a lot of people use essential oils and they never studied aromatherapy. So like the whole concept of, what creates a good essential oil, because not all essential oils are made the same. Some essential oils are lower grade than others. There's a certain analytical brain which comes in once you've studied something. You ask the question, and a lot of people don't. So I'm saying like you'll be surprised as to, how your journey has actually formed you. You'd be surprised as to the information you've accumulated over your journey and how that's gone into this. You might see it as a little bit like, oh, it's just in the past, it's irrelevant. But in reality, if it wasn't in the past, you wouldn't be here in the future. Just throwing it out there.
No, it's very true.
And like when we have these conversations with a lot of people, we'll find out actually, they used to be a caregiver, but then I did this. I was like, but you're still a caregiver. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know you said you used to be a caregiver, but you've brought everything which you brought to your caregiving life. You've brought it into your new world. So the fact of the matter is it's got to be a forming factor. It's got to be, an influence of sorts. Right, Russell, do you disagree?
No, I think that we are all formed from what we did, and we learn. And some of the stuff we absorb and we think we'll bring to it, and other stuff we know that won't work, and we discard it as we get older and move forward. So what works and what doesn't work, and you can bring various aspects of other lives to whatever you're doing. I think that's a very, very valid point.
Very, very valid. I used to work for a pharmacy. I worked there for 5 years. I was a healthcare assistant, and
there's so many things here. So aromatherapy course, worked for a pharmacist and worked with kids.
She's 83 years old, but she uses face cream.
Can I just point out as well, like when I did work in that pharmacy.
Yeah, how old are you, by the way? Because I always thought
can
you were
never
like
ask
20s,
that.
and now
So
I'm big.
Sarah, don't
way
answer.
Too much. I mean,
Sarah, do not answer that question. Ollie Mammon.
Answer that question.
Shut up.
Answer it.
No, don't. That's so rude.
I
can only
I
apologize.
love it. I'm rude. Okay, I'm really rude. I really am.
Rude.
I think I've got a problem. Like social norms and stuff.
Apologize on behalf of Men's Radio Station, the entire management. Well, I'm apologizing. There you go. You carry on.
I think I need 2 minutes in the sin bin, Russ.
On to the naughty step.
The pharmacy. Everyone came in with their prescriptions, and nobody was happy. I want to make happy products,
Well, you're not going to be happy going. No, but this is it.
No, but this is the thing that
Sarah, I have to get my prescriptions. You're not going to walk in. Hey, I'd like my prescription, please.
No,
obviously.
But hold on. When I sent you a package with your vapes and your balms and your drops, you were happy.
Yeah, I'm thrilled. Are you kidding
me?
And
that's what she's saying. She's saying, like, when you went to get your Oxy or the fentanyl patches or whatever they were offering you were pissed off.
I wasn't pissed off. I was very grateful to the NHS, and I was extremely grateful because it so happens that I go to a little local chemist. This is joking aside, and the pharmacists, the pharmacy people there are excellent. They're really very good, and I actually go to them and ask them rather than messing around with the doctor, because they know more. I do believe that trained pharmacists actually know more.
They understand the product more,
and they understand the what works, what doesn't work, what the side effects are, etc. So they give excellent advice. So big up to the pharmacists all over the country, because they do a great job under difficult circumstances.
But you have said on numerous occasions, you don't like the drugs which they gave you for recovery. You said that.
Oh well, I mean, yeah, but I would have cut my head off. But I would have when I got sciatica, which I would I could never go through again. I really would have cut my head off if that was a solution. It was horrific. I've never known such agony like it. So no, I did not like the tramadol. Jeez, horrendous.
Yeah, that's what my mum's on.
Horrendous. I was hooked. I've been very open about it. I was hooked within 3 days. I had to wean myself off it. It was terrible. And then I speak to other people.
My mum's been on that for 15 years. So this is.
How is she still? I'm joking aside. How is your mother functioning? Jesus.
I mean, she's the heart of why we do what we do. I mean, I wish I could create something to get her off the tramadol. I mean, if anybody's got any ideas, let's do it. But yeah, you know, just creating this simple balm for her, which she lathers herself in it, gives her relief, and, you know, has a bath and uses a few of our bath bombs. If that can just stop her from taking one extra tramadol, then, you know, we made a difference today. So that's...
You have. Yes, you have. If you've never had tramadol and you're watching and listening all over the world and you think, well, I don't understand what it is. It's a very, very heavy-duty painkiller. I had sciatica. They put me on it. It is so addictive. It does say on the pack not to be used for more than 3 days. Then I hear stories, and I've heard this a lot. So, Sarah, I know to you it's awful, but unfortunately your mother's case is not that rare. And I've had lots of guests on other shows. And they say, oh, I've been on it for... I think, I don't understand how you're putting one foot in front of the other, because it absolutely wasted me. And it was... I don't... Ollie knows, it's a running joke with us. I don't touch drugs at all. And I never have. It's just not my thing. And I was hooked. It was horrible. And I understood. I had a brief, horrible glimpse of what addiction meant. And I got myself off it because I'm stupidly disciplined, and I knew it would be a trip to nowhere. How your mother survived for 15 years, I honestly cannot imagine. 3 days for me, I was done.
The issue is with the tramadol is it's like the withdrawal is meant to be horrific, and that's what people talk about. So I had one patient. So I've done it with people on morphine. Morphine's actually relatively easy to wean people off because their body doesn't actually go into shutdown. Like with tramadol, I had it with a patient, and I mean, like, I honestly thought it's like just like next level. Like, it's this type of thing you see in a movie when someone's going through like drug rehab. Do you know what I mean? And it's just like, you just don't want that person to be experiencing that certain sort of pain. And you're like, all right, I don't know what to do. I can't actually help you, because it's a really hard one. So we were talking last week, me and Russ, we had a little catch up, which was quite nice. There was no guest on the show, and we were talking about all of the guests who have come on the show. And we were talking about like what the common factor is, you know, like what's the main driving force that we've seen, which is behind, you know, I'd say most, if not all of the people we've seen, even some of the capitalists, even some of the people who seem to be so money focused. They had little moments where they showed their souls, you could say. And like my like me and Russ differed a little bit, but I said the one main thing behind it, or most driven people in this industry, whether they're educators or you know, commercialists, is pain. And I said there is this beautiful yet traumatic experience of pain, which seems to bring everyone together in this space, whether that's pain from sciatica, pain from epilepsy, pain from Tourette syndrome, pain from not finding an answer to the problem, or pain from a problem full stop. And it's been this, I say it's beautiful, because anyone who can take pain and redirect it to stop someone else feeling pain, I think is one of the bravest things. I think it's like proper martyrism. I think it's rare in today's world where someone almost sacrifices themselves in order to sacrifices themselves or takes the experience from their journey in order to stop someone else suffering. And like when you just said that, you know, like you mentioned it briefly at the start of the show, but you went into detail there about how long your mum suffered for. And, you know, there was emotion there when you were speaking about, you know, if you can give her one pill less, if you can make that 0.3% difference,
precisely.
It's still a difference. And I feel like that's like, I knew that there was something like that there. Whenever I speak to you, there's always too much care. As in, like, you've always cared about how your products are made. You've always cared about accuracy. You've always about the end consumer's experience. There's always been something. I remember the first time I said to you, you tried one of your bath bombs. You're like, oh, how was it? I was like, oh, prefer mine. But how was the experience? And I remember you were like quite, anal about getting that answer. Why? Because you wanted to know if it actually worked for another person or not. Is there another tweak? Maybe you need to do this for a market. And there's the brain's constantly working in order to actually provide the end consumer with something which they can call a positive user experience. And I feel like that pain that like your mother's experience, I feel like that is, like I said, in a traumatic way, quite beautiful, because that's the driving force which makes you do all the things that you do. And it's a common factor in this industry. It really is. Russ thought it was something else. Russ thought it was motivation, but I thought it was, no, what word did you use last week? You used a different word. You said you didn't think it was pain. You said it was resilience or something like that.
No, I don't think it was resilience. I can't remember the word I used. I see what you're saying, and I could certainly. I'm not going to be I'm not doing a daytime television. Let's be amateur psychologists here, but it's quite clear that you did get emotional talking about your mum, very understandably, and that probably plays a factor. That if you can help her, then in your head you realize you could help other people, and that's a tremendous thing. That's why we started Men's Radio Station. If we can help one person, well, maybe we can help lots of people in various different ways. The factors that I think bring every guest that Ollie has ever introduced on, because I don't find the guests, it's all down to Ollie Mammon, is they are driven. I think they're all
so
really
much drive.
Driven. Whatever is propelling them, Ollie uses the word capitalism like it's a filthy term, but it's they want to affect change. It's quite clearly they want to affect change, and they're all, like yourself, passionate. They're all enthusiastic, and they're all dedicated to it, and that is certainly a unifying factor for nearly 100 guests, well over, because sometimes we have two guests
double down and stuff.
Yeah.
And they've all got pain. It's like beautiful unifying factor. I feel like that's also how we separate the reals from the fakes in this industry. I think that anyone who's carrying baggage with them, they're all right. Anyone who's not, it's like the opposite of the real world.
It's really interesting. I say this, and I'd love Sarah's view on this. I was over at my daughter's for over there this week, and she has a hugely successful podcast called the Self-Care Club, like number one in the field, and now television's chasing in all the rest of it. And the idea with that, there's a point to this, is that she tries out with her business partner on the podcast all of these weird and wacky things, and they live it for a week. So the thing she just got given was mushroom coffee. Revolting, absolutely revolting. And the other thing, it's tiny, and the other one, it's 30 quid for the thing that you buy for a candle, like candle size. It's 30 quid. And it was like, what the hell is this? And Ollie and I have spoken in the past, and what's really interesting, because I love following how the trends change. CBD. Here's the new thing: mushrooms.
Yeah,
and you
mycology,
will see
functional mycology.
All the people who are just chancers going, this is the new thing. Let's do something whizzy and make mushroom coffee or mushroom this, and they don't really believe in it. Some of them, some of them do, some of them don't. I'm not saying if you like mushroom coffee, well, fantastic. But it's so interesting because Ollie has talked about the way the trend changes. So it's not people who, and it's a division between those who, like yourself, truly believe in it, and those who think, I can make a quick buck here.
But what happens is there seems to be a disconnect between humans and reality. In reality, there are thousands of functional ingredients out there which have an everyday place in your life. It's not about being popular, cool, or hot. CBD is beneficial if you need CBD. Mushrooms are beneficial if you need mushrooms. The same way whiskey is beneficial if you want to get drunk, and water is beneficial.
Just to relax, not to get drunk.
No, but hold on. Water is beneficial if you want to stay hydrated. Everything has its purpose in this life. Now, what happens is we live in this world where CBD gets being sold as everything. CBD as a weight loss product, CBD as an aphrodisiac, CBD to make you taller, CBD to make you shorter. And then what happens now? Mushrooms are coming in. So you've got mushrooms to make you smarter, mushrooms to make you stupider, mushrooms to make you skinnier, mushrooms to make you fatter. But in reality, everything has a purpose. It's not an either or. It's not, I'm done with CBD, I'm onto mushrooms. Cannabinoids and mushrooms work really well together. If you need, let's say, an immune boosting, post-COVID product, you take some CBG, okay, you take some super lemon haze terpenes, you take some lion's mane, some reishi, and some chaga, some echinacea, which is a adaptogen, which is going to be in very soon as well. Adaptogens are getting mental busy. All right. And you mix them all together and you've actually got a killer product. Why? Because you're taking the best from here, the best from here, the best from here, and the best from there for what you need. And there is this whole idea of like functional herbology. That's what this world is. It's like herbs work well in function in tandem with each other. So what really annoys me is you have a lot of these mushroom people, they're working the thing like mushrooms are in, cannabis is out. It's not about cannabis being out. Mushrooms are new now, and everyone's giving them energy, but find a way of incorporating them into your end user's life. The end consumer.
Or just put them in a risotto and shut up about it. That's what I say.
Mushrooms are good. I think for your general and for me as well, like our rundownness. I mean, there's a couple of great concoctions we've made recently, like mushroom blends and stuff. They're great, but you need other. It's not just about mushrooms. It's not just about any one thing. It's like this whole idea of the entourage effect, which we've been talking about in the cannabis world for years. It's more than just a singular, or it's a plural. Like these other ingredients also have their space. And it just drives me mental.
I've learned so much during how many weeks is this, Ollie? 94? 94 weeks. And one of the things, Sarah, is that yesterday my guest was an extraordinary clinical psychologist who's got a hugely popular book out at the moment. One of the best guests I've ever had on my daily show. And we started talking about CBD, and because he has very disturbed people. Sort of, they used to be called criminally insane, but very disturbed. I'm not talking about somebody who's a bit blue. I'm talking about the real end of the spectrum stuff he has to deal with. And we're talking about CBD, which came up in the conversation. And of course, we got into go into Holland and Barrett. And I said, no. What I have learned from Ollie Mammon is this. It's not a one size fits all. I said, if you're going to recommend, because people were coming on and asking questions, I said, please contact Ollie Mammon, have a consultation with him, and let him tailor make something to your specifications. Going into I'm not knocking Holland and Barrett or Boots or any of these things. They're all fine, but they're proprietary brands, and it's not, one thing doesn't do everything. It's not magic. It's not. If I've learned anything over 94 weeks, it's not magic. It's science.
But I think that's another reason. I think that's another reason, Sarah, why you've got such a vast array of products as well. Because every bath bomb's got its own direction. Every bath bomb's got its own purpose. I'm sure you've got a range of balms now and other cosmetics. One thing I've seen you're doing as well is you're doing a lot of like. So I saw a couple of posts where you're like you were doing something at the University of Nottingham, which I thought was quite cool. So I wanted to talk to you about that because that's something else which is great. You're bringing. You could call it we have the thing in our industry called the echo chamber. So the echo chamber is like the industry kind of only ever really speaks to the industry. And if you put your ear to the industry, you can hear it. But if you're away from the industry, you're not getting any of this information. So you've been getting kind of out there. You've been going, like I said, I saw these posts at Nottingham University. What have you actually been doing there?
So it's really, really exciting. I went to a networking event last week, actually. It was like a thank you that they put on to all the businesses. So they worked with 111 businesses in the past year. The lady's name's Angela Scott, if you want to get in contact with her. So they just basically put you onto a consultancy project, and they give you some students which can help you with anything that you basically ask for. So we asked them to do a project on scaling, because we're at the stage now where we've obviously got our brand, but we've got a manufacturing company as well. So we want to, get from not the kitchen place, but the in-between bit where you're making products, you're getting thousands of units out, but how do you get to the international stage? Like,
how do you go from like a local cottage industry, but high functioning cottage industry? How do you go from that to, you know, like international capitalistic queen?
Yeah. Basically, so that's what they did for us. And then they give you, you know, they do a presentation, and then they tell you what to do, basically. So we're helping them, but they're helping us too. So we're just learning from each other, and it's amazing. We've got another one coming up soon. We're going to do it on international distribution and basically how to open the doors, because I find it so hard to get the product into retail. Really,
it's the hardest thing in the world.
I mean, and sometimes it depends who you know. Do you know what I mean? Like,
it totally depends. If you think about, and I'm not being facetious about this, Levi Roots, when he did the pitch with his reggae sauce, the pitch, he was charming. The pitch was an absolute disaster. The figures were all over the place, but the dragons liked him. And the reason that Peter, I can't remember his surname, I'm so sorry. No. The chap at the end, very Peter Jones. That's it. Thank you so much, with the flashy socks. The reason why, you know, that worked is exactly what Levi Roots would have been still cooking in his mum or his auntie's kitchen and entertaining his friends, had not Peter Jones, with all the entrees into the supermarket trade, made it a national brand. There was a lot of goodwill towards him. He seemed like a charming guy. The product's pretty good. But that's it. And it's not what you know, it is who you know, because that entree, the distribution is absolutely key. And it is a real growing pain. It's no different from men's radio station and women's radio station. You get it to a certain level, and then you really do need that outside help, who are not radio experts, but are marketing or whatever. Boom. They can
about scale.
It's all about scale. Everything's about scale. So I totally understand what you're saying.
Yeah. I mean, this journey for us, it's not been easy. Me and my sister, we have struggled. We did get an opportunity at the beginning of all of this where someone did make me an offer, but we didn't take it because we hadn't gone through the grit and the crying in the corner of when your business is driving you insane. And, you know, there's certain things that you have to learn in life and go through to get to where you are. And, you know, the universe will put you in places and will make you connect with people at the right time. So for Levi Roots, he had something that Peter seen, and that just generated from inside of him. And Peter knew, actually, let's go with this. So, you know, it is who you know. And although I've not been able to open certain doors that I want to, I will open them doors eventually if I keep going. So,
of course.
Yeah, and you was on about earlier saying that the people that you've had on your show, we've all got this desire. You know, we're all enthusiastic about this industry. We've all got this thing about us where we just can't stop. And that's the thing about CBD. It helps people, and that's what we've got inside us. That's what we want to do, and that's what we're not going to let go of. We want to make a difference, and we want to help people. So the doors will open eventually. We just have to go through the mud first. So yeah, that's it. Really.
One thing I've found as well with a lot of these doors is these doors theoretically want the product you're offering, but it's not just you, it's us as well. But they might not necessarily want to buy it from you. So they'll come in, you'll pitch them the idea. I've got these bath bombs, I've got this, I got that. And then they'll turn around to someone who they're ready to do business with. We've been pitched CBD bath bombs. Can you do it? Of course, the company's not going to say no. But what happens is they end up screwing it up. The company who bought the product believes that their current supplier can offer it, ends up not being what they expected, ends up not being anywhere near as good as the samples they saw. And then they make two options. Do we, smash it on the head with a hammer and say it's done? Or do we, go back to people and say, lose face that we kind of ignored them for 6 months, went down a different route and did it. And a lot of these buyers, what happens is when they screw up, these head buyers in the shop, when they make a mistake or they try and cut someone out or they try and cheapen or simplify a product or fake it, then at the end of the day, they end up with egg on their face, and then you lose that contact anyway. And it happens a lot. I mean, we had it recently. I can't remember who we were speaking to. I think it was one of the big pharmacy chains. It was like maybe 4 years ago, we'll speak to them about a range of CBD products. They ended up basically imitating our entire range with one of their vape manufacturers, and the range came in terrible. I mean, like, it was just, like, talking about cheapening it, they cheapened it so badly. But this is what they do, because in their mind, they're thinking of margin. They like the concepts which we're providing them, but in reality, they've got their various reasons as to why they can't work with us. No previous track record, no previous engagement with the company, etc., etc. Or they just believe they can steal our ideas, copy them, and cut us out. But that happens a lot as well. And a lot of these bigger doors almost don't want to let us in. You know what I mean? Like, they want to let in a Peter, but they don't want to let in an Ollie or a Sarah. And that has happened out there a lot. It is one of the bigger issues out there. And then people who actually design functional, user-friendly, user experience thought about products, people who design those, they're not getting through to the end. Those products are not being put on the shelf. Imitations of those products are being put on the shelf. But what happens when you imitate something? It's not the original. It's not going to be what, it's not going to have all of the key defining factors which make something special to start with.
It's a very old story. Unfortunately, it's a very, very old story. After many, many years in advertising, you'd go do a pitch, you wouldn't get the job, and then you'd see all your ideas. Wait a minute, those were our ideas. That's what we pitched. We didn't get the job. I
literally invented the Coca-Cola polar bear. What are you doing? Got a great idea. Coca-Cola polar bear. Don't like bears. Next month.
It's weird. Or they cherry pick and stuff like that. It's unfortunate. It's a fact of life.
Sarah, you said the highs, the lows, the struggles. Share some, because that's another thing which, once again, people don't see this. People don't see the struggles which entrepreneurs go through. And it's not for empathy. It's not for sympathy. It's just for people to know, like, I've had those nights of literally lying in bed crying, like, oh my God, like it's all over. It's done. It's like literally done. Yeah. I get but then the next day you wake up and you get a bit of good news and you tick over again for a few more months. And then, like, it's relentless. So it is relentless when it happens. It's just like, if you don't smile, you cry. If you don't laugh, you cry. But sometimes it is just like really, like really. Yeah. So give us, if you're happy to share a few of your struggles.
Yeah, sure. I mean, in the beginning, I suppose, like, going through this process and not technically being a qualified formulator. I mean, you might laugh at this, but I didn't realize that, counting the drops of essential oils in a bowl actually is not the way to make a product. So we made everything like that, as you would in your kitchen, but then you have to turn all of that into a percentage, right? So you have to, so that at the beginning was really hard.
So you knew exactly what your recipes were. You just couldn't get the nail on the head. But that's another thing which happens when you're making a mass market product.
No one knows that. Everyone thinks that you just throw it in a bowl.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
No, throw it in a bowl. And then people also don't even realize that when you... So it goes even deeper. So oils are always changing densities. Essential oils are always changing densities, which means you buy a lavender essential oil from one person and a lavender essential oil from another person. The weight density, which means one will weigh 0.85 grams for a mil, one will weigh 0.81 grams for a mil, which means there's a 5% difference in that. They have different smells. They have different, like they're extracted from different plants. Every batch of essential oils is slightly different. And it's like, it's hard. It's hard to rework with that. The same with cannabinoids. Cannabinoids are always changing.
Yeah. And the measurements of your CBD and, just everything, that was hardcore. Getting our head around that bit was hard. But anyway, we got past that. We tick that one off. And then, even like just registering your cosmetics on the portal. No one knows about that bit. There's so many things that people don't see, and then you've got it's just me and my sister. We get staff in to help and things like that, but we do everything. So my sister's now in charge of operations, manufacturing. She's got to order. We're getting massive pallets of bicarb, citric. We're ordering. We've got a whole
warehouse full
essential oils. Like, there's just so much going on.
So
and
do
then
you have?
I have to hound everybody. I'm like that on LinkedIn. Hi, I'm Sarah. I've got these bath bombs. Hi.
It's very, very hard. Let me ask, Sarah. I just want to get a picture here. Do you have a warehouse? Do you have a factory?
Oh, yeah.
Do you have a lab? I mean, what's the story?
The story. So we'll go back to the story. So when we made the products and stuff from my house, because I got children, they kept touching everything. So we moved to my mum's, and my sister still lived at home with my mum at the time. So we was making it in my mum's kitchen and then storing them in Tequila's bedroom. So she was literally sleeping in bags of bicarb and citric, and we had baking trolleys, and we got an order. I think it was about 1,000 units, and this is in the beginning, like 2018. And I just went there one day and I was like, we have got to leave. Like, we cannot continue to do this. Tequila's like just on a bag of
bicarb at night before she goes to bed. Poor girl.
And then it was, I just looked on Gumtree. This is what I mean about the universe. And I'm very spiritual. So I believe that everything happens for a reason and timing and stuff like that. And I looked on Gumtree and there was nothing. And then I looked the next day and there was a factory down the road, 5 minutes from my mum's house. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go and get that. And I did. So, and then I opened the factory. We filled it with loads of machinery and products. And now we're producing large orders for international businesses. We've got something going to Saudi Arabia, which is not CBD, because we do non-CBD as well. We're producing some pretty large orders for some pretty good brands. And I'm just very grateful for the opportunity to be put on this path, really. So that's how
you're going to go from strength to strength, Sarah. You're going to go from strength to strength. And also, we all started in our kitchens, every single one of us. Even Lush, you know, the story of Lush, he started off he was making his cosmetics in his bathtub. So he used to clog up his bathtub and he used to make like 700 liters or 600 liters or whatever it is of cosmetics creams. All right, bottle it and sell it. That's how he started his business.
Wow.
From his bathtub.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
But also, there's no laws against that. So theoretically, it's completely legal as long as the product passes CPSR. You know, like having a clean manufacturing facility is good manufacturing practices, but in general, it's not actually legal.
We all have to start somewhere.
We have to start somewhere. 1,000,000%. And also, you know, like you need to kind of be in that mess surrounded by sleeping on bags of bicarb to be able to know that you need to grow out of it. You know, we've all done the same thing. You know, I think only a very stupid person buys the warehouse before they know how to make the product. You know, it's a very, very stupid move to invest in an infrastructure before you know how to use it. It's almost like it's thinking with it's not logical at all. So I would say your entire process has been extremely logical. And look at you, you're probably, you know, you've got tens of thousands of bath bombs leaving you guys on a weekly basis now. I mean, you are, like I said, the market leaders in the CBD market. It's incredible that you've scaled to the point where you've got international sales now as well. And you will go from strength to strength. You will only get better. You will only get bigger. And, you know, that core driving force, which is, you know, your mother's pain and, you know, the benefit your product has brought to the thousands and thousands of people who have used it. I mean, that's your driving force. It's not going to let you stop. So I can't wait to see what else you achieve.
How many staff do you have now trying to facilitate these orders?
So we get staff come in. So we can have like 10 staff on production. But at the minute, like for the top management, it's just me and my sister. So we actually do need more people to get involved.
That I appreciated. I meant the hands-on. You know, you're making all these thousands of bath bombs.
We are looking to partner with other companies, to be honest. I mean, we could do with quite a lot of help on scaling the business. So we are looking to, you know, we're looking for investment and people who just want to get involved. So if somebody doesn't have a CBD brand at the minute, but they're wanting to have one, please get in touch with me, because I'm more than happy to have a conversation with somebody about coming on board, really. Yeah.
Okay.
It's what you have to do, isn't it? No, it's what you have to do. And also look, like Sarah's got an incredible name in this industry. She's got like very well-known products, like I've said several times. And, you know, like, to be honest with you, you'll find exactly what you're looking for. Just don't let a shark in. Don't let a piece of shit in. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. That's the only thing I would say. It's the only thing I would
think
say.
from only the hour, less than the hour that we've known each other, I don't think that's likely to happen. I think
It's not going to happen.
Sarah has got her head screwed on correctly. Sarah, it's been an absolute joy to me. I know Ollie knows you well. I've never met you before. It's been an absolute joy. I think your story is inspirational, and it goes to the very heart of kind of what the ABC of CBD is all about. It's pioneers like you and like Ollie, people who are dedicated, people who have a vision, and most importantly, which goes to the ethos of Men's Radio Station, people who actually want to help and make a difference.
Amen.
Yeah.
And it's so important. Bless you for that. I hope your business continues to absolutely thrive. Ollie,
Amen.
have
Thank
a
you.
wonderful, wonderful week.
Have a lovely evening, everybody.
God
Happy
willing, we will
Thursday.
be back Thursday, same time, 6 o'clock.
Thank you so much.
Until our pleasure, really, really was. Until then, try and stay out of trouble, everybody.